Hi, this is Jade Harrell, host and producer of Sunday Morning Live, and you're listening to the Sunday Morning Live podcast, a chance to get what you missed. Sunday Morning Live is a public affairs program designed to provide our listeners the latest information, news, and issues of concern for the St. Louis community, the nation, and the world. For booking information, questions, ideas, or comments, please contact me at 314-333-8369 or jade@clearchannel.com.
The all-new Magic 100.3 is KMJM FM, Bridgeton, St. Louis, an iHeartRadio station. The views and opinions of the following show are not necessarily views and opinions of Clear Channel Media Entertainment, its staff, or management. We're addressing the issues that affect your family, the issues that impact St. Louis. It's Sunday Morning Live with your host, Jade Harrell, on the all-new Magic 100.3.
Welcome back. Sunday Morning Live is now Saturdays, so we're getting used to this new space and time and how that operates. I'm Jade Harrell, thankful to be here yet again for another opportunity to communicate with my family out here. How you feeling? I pray all is well. Of course, we won't have the conversation without you. You can join us at 556-6100, 556-6100. Got a great program for you today. Many things to talk about. First and foremost, I want to let you know that April is also that we are celebrating many things this month. It is also a recognition that April is Child Abuse Awareness Month. And so we have a period of time that we're going to talk about that today with a group called Epworth, who works at this on a regular basis. We are also joined today to... I just lost something there. We're going to keep on pressing forward. But we are also going to talk about a great opportunity for us to plug in and volunteer, put our hands to the ground and make some differences here. But we're going to start first with Mr. Charles Bryson, who comes to us with CREA, the Citizens... I'm saying it wrong. Civil Rights Enforcement Agency. There's some citizen in there, though, of course. So let's just jump right in. Good morning to you, Charles Bryson. I'm so glad to have you back. You know, sometimes we just need a little bit more resources, a little bit more support, a little bit more help to do the things that we've intended to do. And we have good news and congratulations in order that you've received a grant award to continue the good work that you're doing. But I would love to know and have you explain more about the Civil Rights Enforcement Agency, your role there, and what work are you going to get in here and do now that you got a little help?
Well, first of all, good morning, Jade, and good morning to your listening audience. The Civil Rights Enforcement Agency has been around literally since 1949, 1950, and it happened because of a situation. It was a race riot in Fairground Park, and the race riot was about whites who refused to allow African-American youth to swim in Fairground Park. Uh-huh. And the then mayor decreed a commission to discuss and develop policies and procedures on human rights. And so we've evolved since then, and this is also Fair Housing Month, by the way.
Thanks.
The Civil Rights Enforcement Agency currently is to really look at issues related to and investigate issues related to fair housing, public accommodation, and equal employment opportunity. And we both have money from St. Louis City as well as federal dollars to do that. What we are finding is that a lot of people don't know that we exist. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are unsure where to go for assistance. And so we are starting a campaign, and so you get to be the first of many informational sessions that we plan to have where we discuss what civil rights are related to the citizens of the city or people of the city of St. Louis. Mm-hmm. And so if you believe you have been discriminated against, we ask you not to self-select yourself out. And I'll give you a real good...
What do you mean by that? Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll give you an example of a situation that I know existed. A friend of mine, a couple of years ago, she was looking for an apartment. She's a single mom. And her and her son were looking at a particular apartment on a particular street. Mm-hmm. And the owner of the property came out and met with them. And while she was qualified for the unit, the owner of the property really castigated the young man and said, well, I don't want any loud music, I don't want any parties, and really sort of talked down to the young African-American male. And so much so that mom said, I don't think I want to rent from you. Mm-hmm. Well, my question is, I wonder how many times he did that before them and how many times he's done it since then.
And is that considered a civil rights issue there? Or
absolutely.
Just the person's,
no, absolutely. Okay. It is under familial status and it is also under race. And so the duality of that claim would be that he possibly was discriminating against single mothers with children, and perhaps particularly single African-American single women with children. Mm-hmm. And so that certainly would have been a claim that we would have investigated. We would have went through his records, how many people applied, what their familial status was, versus how many people got accepted for units under that he owned. Mm-hmm. And we would have done that investigation and possibly would have found discrimination. Mm-hmm. And we need to make sure that we talk about discrimination and not racism. Okay. Civil Rights Enforcement Agency is about finding issues related to discrimination. And the reason I say that is because not only there are what are called protected classes that are federally protected classes. Yes. And they are very quickly race, color, sex, religion, national origin, sexual orientation or expression, age, marital status, physical and mental disability, and there's one in the city of St. Louis related to source of income. So those are the protected classes. And so you have a variety of different ways that you possibly are discriminated against. Mm-hmm.
Source of income is a new one for me. How is that defined?
Source of income means a legal source of income, but if you have the ability to pay for something, mm-hmm. for example, say you want to rent or purchase a car, mm-hmm. They need to ask you, do you have the ability to pay? Mm-hmm. And they can do that record. But let's say you receive $10, but you still, within your $10, have means to pay for a home or something of means. They can't deny you on the basis of that source of income if you have the ability to pay for whatever it is that you're seeking to pay.
I see. Okay. And then when we say discriminated against, be more specific.
If you believe that you are denied something mm-hmm. on the basis of something, then you should call us. It is, we do a lot of self-selecting. We do a lot of hurting. And this is especially true in the African-American community, where we will just be denied a service of some sort. And we will just, it's racism and it always happens. Mm-hmm. For us to begin to stop or halt racism, we need to call it out where it is. Mm-hmm. So if someone believes they have been denied, maybe they've been denied a loan at a bank or financial institution. Maybe they've been denied a car of some sort. Maybe they've been denied a particular house. We need to do that investigation. If they believe in their heart and in their mind there was something wrong with that transaction, mm-hmm. that's what we need to hear about it. And in fact, we're not getting the number of calls I think that we should be getting around issues of discrimination.
Very interesting. Well, I want to open the phone lines up to anyone listening that may have a question, and you have an opportunity to ask and get the specifics in this area. 556-6100, 556-6100. Is the mission or goal of CREA to eliminate discrimination?
In our ordinance, mm-hmm. it talks about remediating and eliminating discrimination.
Is that right? Do you believe that it's possible? And what kinds of enforcement would make that? Well, the
penalties, we have penalties now in place of up to $500 mm-hmm. If the case is litigated. We'd like to possibly see that increased to $1,000. You can't eliminate what's in somebody's mind, mm-hmm. but you can reduce their actions. Right. And that's what we're seeking.
Okay, turn your radio down if you have a question or comment.
Oh, I was just checking to see if this was actually the number. I think I'm going to reserve my comment. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm glad to know that you're listening, and yes, the number does work. She decided not to say. Now, as we look at this issue, you could say that the existence of, but maybe that's why you specify that it's not trying to eliminate racism, but it's trying to eliminate discrimination. You can't alter how a person necessarily feels, but how they act upon those feelings and how they impose those feelings upon another person. So now you're not responsible for the history of, and therefore the deep-seated longevity of racism, but actually making a difference here and now. I could see why that would require resources. How do you utilize those resources to create the change? Well,
I think several ways. Number one, we were really blessed to get a HUD for housing grant. And within that grant, that it allows us to do outreach into the community. Staff spent yesterday going to a number of neighborhoods, dropping off literature to let folks know. We want to increase the number of calls. We want to increase the awareness that people have relative to what their civil rights are.
All right. Well, let's see what our folks think. Good morning. You're on Saturday Morning Live. The number does work, and we are live. Are you with me, caller?
Hi.
Question or comment?
Yes, I have a question. Now, I worked at a certain company, and I experienced racism there, discrimination there. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And to make a long story short, the person that actually did the discriminating, he got fired. And I think that I had got retaliated against because I got fired about 2 weeks later because I told on the guy.
Because you said something. I'm sure that becomes an issue. That's a great point to bring up. Let's see what the response would be.
Charles, two things.
Right. And I know that's a deterrent for many people for coming forward, not only with discrimination, but with child abuse that we'll talk about, other forms of abuse. So how is that addressed?
Well, number one, once someone calls us and files a claim against discrimination, we will go out and investigate. Mm-hmm. We will also let, whether it's housing or employment, we will let the entity know that we are also monitoring you for possible retaliation, which is a completely different suit, by the way. So you may sue under the original claim of discrimination, but you can also file under retaliation.
Now, does CREA come out of the city governing division?
I was appointed by Mayor Slay in July 1st of this year.
Okay, congratulations again for yet another appointment. You keep adding more to your plate, Charles. I don't know. I guess you're a glutton. But then you also needed a grant because in order to further this effort,
the grant allowed us really to increase our efforts. So we're going to be doing a lot more visibility. We are going to do radio spots. We're going to certainly be on the air as much as possible talking about civil rights and discrimination. We thought about billboards and that kind of thing, but we don't think that really gets people's attention as much as the radio spots would. And so that's what we're looking to do.
Well, we're connecting directly with the folks that would need you. I think it's going to be the most effective way, and this is a great start. Callers, you hear it now. We want to reach. He wants to reach and find out how we can make a difference and help. 556-6100. You have a couple of minutes. Caller, you're on the air.
Okay, how you doing? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is a great organization you all have. But I just have a few questions here. Now, I live in St. Louis County. Now, is it only for St. Louis City residents?
It is. It is for city residents, or if you're employed in the city of St. Louis, or you're looking for housing in the city of St. Louis and have been affected by possible discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Okay, that answers my second question. That's what I was going to ask. If I do business, even though I live in St. Louis County, but I have business in the city, work or anything like that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thanks for your call.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right, caller, you're on the air real quick. Your question or comment?
Yes, I was calling in reference to employment discrimination.
All right. Do you want the number to connect so that you can get some more specific answers?
Excuse me?
I said, would you like the contact information so that you can pursue this?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to have Charles repeat that if you're ready. We'll go ahead and have that repeated for the audience as well. Good job, Charles. I mean, apparently, we wanted to be able to reach our folks and let them know what resources are available, and now that you have it, you can do so. Tell us how to connect, how we can get questions answered, and maybe pursue some of these things to make a change.
Our phone number is obviously area code 314-622-3301. And you can also send us an email at crea@stlewis-mo.gov. And we normally will respond within 24 hours, not on the weekend, but we respond within 24 hours about a possible case of discrimination.
Now, you mentioned at Fairground Park, and that was a group of folks, but then some of the situations we're talking about individually. Do you encompass individual, group, situational?
We do individuals.
Businesses, say a certain restaurant is kind of acting that way toward.
Absolutely. If a restaurant, in fact, and this is unfortunate because we always need your contact information back. We had a group of African American women who went to a restaurant, felt that they were treated badly, but they never gave us any contact information to get back with them. And they also didn't tell us what the restaurant was. So we need information from you so that when we follow up, we know what the situation is and how to contact you.
Excellent. Charles, give the phone number one more time.
The phone number is 314-622-3301.
Excellent. That's the Civil Rights Enforcement Agency. There's somebody to stand up for you. And Charles Bryson has been appointed to make sure that happens. So we'll be coming after you yet again, Charles.
Thank you, Jade. I appreciate it much.
We thank you very much for your continued effort and commitment to our folks.
Sunday Morning Live has been a cornerstone of the St. Louis community for over 30 years. In-studio guests include community organizations, political experts, professionals, and celebrities. Sunday Morning Live gives listeners the opportunity to dialogue with our guests and express their opinions. Take part, share your voice, and become connected. Be sure to check out our blog at kmjm.com, keyword Sunday Morning. Like us and follow us on Facebook at SMLSTL and keep the conversation going. Sunday Morning Live on Magic 100.3.
You've been listening to Sunday Morning Live, a public affairs program of the all-new Magic 100.3. The views and opinions of today's show were not necessarily the views and opinions of Clear Channel Media and Entertainment, its staff or management. Thank you for listening.